All right, so for this lab, we will be focusing on the central nervous system. So the nervous system in general is divided into the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. On this image over here, you can see in the yellow is showing the central nervous system, which is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. And then the peripheral nervous system, the PNS, is all of this kind of like blue coloration. Those are all of the nerves that come out of the brain and spinal cord. We will be doing our next lab next week. We'll be looking at peripheral nervous system. But for this week's lab, we are looking at central nervous system. Now, the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system can also be divided into three other systems. And those are the somatic nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, and the enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system relates to gut stuff. So we're talking about foods moving where foods gotta go and how we have these Meissner plexuses, and that those plexuses are what are like making things move through our gut, allowing digestion and motility and things like that. That's the enteric. We're not going to get into the enteric nervous system in this anatomy course. Autonomics. We're going to briefly touch on autonomics, but in lab, we don't talk too much about autonomics. Autonomics is our fight or flight response. Our rest or digest response. So fight or flight would be our sympathetic nervous system. And our rest and digest would be our parasympathetics. So this is part of our nervous system that we do not think about. These are automatic processes that happen, hence autonomic. And sympathetics are responsible for when we're in danger, when we're in a survival type mode, how does our body react? And parasympathetics is the opposite. It's what allows me to rest and digest, and also in parasympathetics is reproduce. So it's the things that keep us alive. Sympathetics keep us alive in danger, and parasympathetics keep us alive when we're not in danger, but we need to have our species continue to live and thrive and be healthy. So that is what the autonomics are. It's a very primitive nervous system. We are going to kind of live in anatomy for this level of a course in the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is the idea of, say I have a person. You are a person. Here's my person. And my person has a ball. And they're holding their ball. The information coming into their brain, they can feel the ball, right? They feel that ball in their hand. They're going to have sensory information come in. Sensory information is going to come in from their hand, go up their spinal cord, and go to their brain. We're going to learn about all the parts that's going to go through, but it's going to go up through the brainstem, from the brainstem to the thalamus, from the thalamus to the cerebrum. When we have sensory is going to be in the parietal lobe, and then it's going to go to our frontal lobe and our motor side, and it's going to send that motor information back down through the hand so that he takes that ball and whoop, throws it. So somatic is the idea of, what color did I do? I think I did yellow. Of sensory information in, sensory information comes into the brain, and the brain has a response, has a motor response out. And we have a lot of different processes in our body that involve this type of process of sensory information coming in, motor response coming out. And we'll kind of talk about those different parts as we go through the brain and the spinal cord in this lab. In the next section, we are going to look at the nerves and the nervous tissue that makes up the nervous system. So we'll be talking about neurons and glial cells.